All right. Hey, I'm Spencer.
And I'm Britton.
And I'm Ryan from 1001 Songs That Make You Want to Die.
Since 2011, Buckethead has released 290 albums in his Pikes series, and we're going to listen to them.
3 at a time.
This is Getting Head.
Welcome, bots, slogs, friends, and bucketheads. This is episode 47 of Gettin Head, a Bucketcast.
I mean, and you thought I had nothing for like 38. I have absolutely zero.
So
for 47
is an apparel company mostly known for their snapback baseball caps. They're kind of like a contemporary of like New Era. Also, 47 appears a whole lot in Star Trek. I don't know if you knew this.
Okay.
Apparently, Joe Minosky, writer for Star Trek TNG, quote-unquote, infected other Star Trek writers with an enthusiasm for the number 47. And as a result, 47, its reverse 74, and its multiples or combinations of 47 occur in a ton of episodes of Star Trek DS9, TNG, Voyager, and Enterprise, usually as dialogue on screen labels or on computer screens.
Amazing. That's great. I mean, like, thanks for the factoid, the update. But we also have a guest.
We do. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
What did you do to end up here?
Good to be here. Yeah, well, that's a question I've been asking myself.
As you should. I mean, we're on the internet. We're talking about Buckethead. Do you ever think you'd see yourself here?
I was just thinking just before I started this that when I was a teenager in high school, I had a friend who was a big Buckethead fan, and he sort of got me involved. And I was thinking if I could go back in time, you know, about 20-ish years ago, and say, hey, me, you know, you're going to be on a podcast about Buckethead in the future. I'd be like, what the fuck is a podcast?
And you'd be like, what's a podcast? What are we doing?
But also, cool.
Yeah, hell yeah. So, you're here from Australia. I mean, well, you're not here. You're in Australia.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what happens tomorrow.
Well, it's raining.
Good question.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about all I know.
It's Seattle, so.
We recently did a podcast, an episode on my podcast, 1001 Songs That Make You Want to Die, about the song The Year 3000 by the band Busted. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
I've heard that song. No,
I think I know that song. I can't place it off the top of my head, but I think
basically
I know
the gist of it is that they travel to the year 3000. In their words, not much has changed except that everybody lives underwater. So, that's what happens tomorrow.
That sounds dope as fuck.
Not much has changed except
honestly.
Everyone's entire lifestyle and aquatic.
This song sounds awesome, to be honest. So it's like Waterworld, kind of, but
like
the Back to the Future meets,
but underwater.
Yeah.
Oh, that fucking rocks! How does that not rock? How does that make you want to die? That makes you want to live.
You'll find out.
It makes
You'll
me
find
live
out
in the year 3000. Okay.
Speaking of Waterworld, I actually watched Waterworld recently.
It's great.
I sat down and watched the whole
film.
It's great, huh?
It's great.
When was the last time you've watched Waterworld?
I did go to that Universal
a few
Studios.
years ago. It rocks.
You know, they do like the stage show at Universal Studios.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I've been to that. Haven't seen the movie, but if it's anything like the stage show, whoa, mate.
Yeah. I mean,
Flames.
like, there's some moments in it. I like the fact that Kevin Costner has gills. I think that's pretty cool.
That rocks. It's so cool.
It does rock in that sense. I like these, like, just an angry gill man. And he's like, oh, I'm so mad and I don't care about anybody, but also I have gills.
Is that a spoiler?
And no, I no. I think no.
But
they reveal
also,
that in the first scene. I think
there's only like one thing you can spoil in the movie, and it's like at the very end. But Dennis Hopper fucking rocks.
Oh yeah,
Dennis Hopper rocks in that film. Dennis Hopper he's a main villain. He's so good.
He plays the leader of a gang called the Smokers, and they all just like chain smoke cigarettes. And I don't feel like it explained where they got the cigarettes from, but they're always just fucking smoking, and It's dope, dude. It's
Definitely, if I
really great.
survived the apocalypse, I'd want to start slowly killing myself with cigarettes. Just to
That
make
sounds
it
great,
end a
actually.
little
Yeah.
quicker,
And don't so they're
Like, why
also
not?
like on a big oil tanker too, smoking all the time, which sounds like a great idea, right? Like that's their
Smoking
big
all the time.
evil fortress is an oil like tanker.
And you're just like fucking smoking, just throwing those cigarettes. You don't give a shit.
That is something I kind of
tight.
think about. If you ever sort of ended up finding yourself in a post-apocalyptic world, you know, your survival instinct would be pretty strong at that point. And like everyone's always trying to kill you for your oil and your fresh water and everything like that. So you're always under the threat of being killed. Why would you smoke?
I don't know, because like, what's there to live for on a
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Planet of water?
like everybody's after you for all your shit, you know, and you're like, constantly running. You're living in this wasteland. Like I've played those Fallout games, you know, like I've been there.
Probably wrong.
And,
You just
You've
died.
been there based on your experience playing the video game.
I'm a veteran. I don't know if you know this, but like.
I played all of the Call of Duty games, so you know I don't get why I don't get veterans benefits. Like, why don't I
Hell
get the
yeah.
GI Bill, right, guys? Like,
The real stolen valor is that our Call of Duty pros don't get a military discount. Scores.
I spent a lot of
True
time
that.
invading Space Invaders, so I know what it's like to stop
Yeah.
aliens from, you know,
Yeah.
I've been there.
I see you got that
Yeah.
1,000-yard stare going on. It's like you've seen some stuff, man.
I have watched the film Independence Day a lot of times, so
We know this.
You
We
could
know
say
this.
I'm a bit of a, you know, expert on alien invasions.
Hell yeah. What?
Brent Spiner is in that movie.
Yeah, he is.
Who plays Data on Star Trek: The Next Generation, and I recently saw a tweet from him from I think it was earlier this year. It was in February of this year that said, "If I die, please let it be from marijuana."
That rocks,
Which rocks.
pretty hard, I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I like to imagine he just gets
A great
crushed with a
sentiment,
giant
you know?
brick of it or something like that.
He gets caught in like a marijuana like warehouse fire and
In a-
he slowly burns to death.
Falls in a vat of it, and then they close the lid, and he just suffocates inside it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way to go. It's the way to go. So, Britt, what's new with you? What's up?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
That's not true.
Really, nothing. I mean, can you tell me what's doing with me? I don't.
Okay, you and I have been watching the Police Academy films.
Oh, we have.
We've talked about this
We
a little
have.
bit, but like, I feel like we should give an update. So, Britt and I have now watched through the first 5 Police Academy films.
How many are there?
7.
Yes.
They're going for the Fast and Furious numbers, aren't they?
Yeah, the big franchise. They
Yeah,
really
yeah.
expanded
I mean,
it.
they're often spoken of in the same breath. You know,
Yeah, you know,
like,
you know the great septologies like Harry Potter, Police Academy.
Yeah, Police Academy drove so Fast and Furious could drive much faster.
And more furiously.
Yeah, much faster and more furiously.
significantly more furiously.
So-
So we've been watching through them, and if you're unfamiliar with the series, they're a series of like slapstick 80s comedies. They're heavily focused on physical humor and very like simple jokes.
Funny sound
It's
effects.
basically
Funny sound effects, yes.
Well, the premise I think of all of the films is they're all about cops, kind of in general. But more than anything, they're a series of pranks and gags tied together with a very loose storyline.
So misfits.
An extremely
misfits
thin
become
through
cops.
line, yeah.
But yeah, it's all gags. They're gag movies.
100%. So the last one, or the most recent one that we watched was Police Academy 5, which is Police Academy Mission to Miami Beach. What is it?
No, it's not Mission to Miami Beach. It was, right? I always think it's Mission to Miami because of Mission to Moscow is the 7th one. It's,
Yeah.
1 sec.
When do they start getting terrible? That's the real question.
So that's kind
Here,
of, we're right there. Yeah, we're
Police
right on the
Academy
precipice.
5, Assignment Miami Beach.
Assignment Miami Beach. Okay, so
when
that's
does the
one
sound
that we
effects
watched.
guy stop being in them? That's the real question.
Oh no, he's in
all
I
of them.
think Yeah, he's in all of them.
He's
one of 3 characters who's in every single one of them.
Steve Gutenberg, is he the? He was
Nope,
in the first one.
Steven Gutenberg is out after 4.
Yes,
That's his
Steven
last one.
Gutenberg is
And
only
they
in 4
replace him
Police
with
Academy.
the guy who plays Lloyd Braun on Seinfeld. I don't know if you remember it now. No,
It's a deep cut.
Spencer
but yeah.
didn't get it either. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I've watched hella Seinfeld. It's been a minute. Anyway, so Police Academy 5, Assignment Miami Beach from 1998. Or, no, sorry, 1988. I apologize. Very different times.
Very.
1988. We watched that last night, and this is where the films, I feel like, start to decline a little bit. I didn't think that 5 was particularly bad, but it's also
It was so
not
stupid.
It's so dumb.
It was insultingly dumb.
It's like a film for children, basically.
Yes.
Like,
no, it's a film for dogs.
yes.
The sound effects are so high pitched that only dogs can hear it.
The problem.
Yes.
There's no audio in this film. No, it's just for dogs.
Strangely, Michael Winslow, sound effects guy. He makes weird sound effects. That's his whole shtick. He has I feel like a more diminished role in 5 than in the previous Police Academies. Like, he's in it, but
the thing is, he's a shit actor.
Yeah,
so they just use him for sound effects. And if they can't have a gag that
no situation came up
requires that. Yeah, they're just like can't really use you.
It's
this
like
time.
you know in movies when there's someone who's invincible can't die, so they keep getting in situations where they would normally die, like more than usual. Mm-hmm. It's like they just have to keep inventing situations that sound effects would get them out of trouble.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like they have definitely like stretched I think the definition of like what you can make a joke out of.
Right. Yeah.
They're like, all right, Mike, we're writing this film. What other sounds do you have? Well, how about this violin one? No, we fucking used that twice already. I could do the Karate Man thing where I do the Bruce Lee, and they're like, Jesus Christ, every fucking film.
Every film. So
every fucking film.
He does a thing. He does a thing where he's like making fun of dubbed kung fu movies, right? So he like will move his mouth wildly like he's saying something different, and then he'll like talk while he's doing that. So, but like it just looks like he's moving his mouth, but he's like actually saying something in English. And so like the joke is, haha, it's like dubbed kung fu movies, but it has aged the poorest of like any joke imaginable. It is like unbearable and unfunny and terrible every time it comes on.
There definitely was like a renaissance of films in that sort of era that are like a couple of misfits go into some situation like the army or the cops or nerds at uni, you know.
Oh, there were so many
Army
Academy films. Yeah. I mean, there was also like, there was a Mortuary Academy. There was one about like ambulance drivers. Like Ninja Academy is another one. There's tons of films that are just basically
watch Ninja Academy. That sounds great.
Yeah, there's a ton of films like of that exact ilk that are just like Academy films, but it's just a bunch of gags tied together. There's I think was it Snowboard Academy, and then there's a one just for skiing as well. Like it's a great ton of films.
There's always boobs too for some reason.
So we discovered this last night, but the Police Academy films after the second one are all PG.
Yeah,
how weird
appealing
is
to
that?
dogs and children. They don't care.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for real.
Simpler time.
Yeah, so I thought 5 was okay. So far, I think my favorite ones are... I think that 3 is probably my favorite Police Academy film so far. 3 being because of the presence of particularly Bobcat Goldthwait as the character Zed McGlunk.
Dude, Zed fucking rocks. I love him in 4 too. He has the most screen time in 4.
Yeah, he's amazing in both. Like that's why like 3 and 4 I like so much. Like he's funny in 2, but he has such limited screen time that like 2 kind of is a bummer for other reasons.
Yeah.
But in 3 and 4, he gets to shine. And we
yes.
love Zed here. Big Zed stands, for sure.
Yeah. We love a great Zed. You want to, we were talking, we need a Zed standalone film.
Yeah.
That's something
we really missed out on that. And, like, they could even make it now, and it would be amazing. Like,
Yeah, no,
Just do
like
it.
Bobcat Goldthwait, he's free. He's just like directing cool films and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
direct
just waiting.
yourself
He's
in a
waiting for
movie
that
about
call.
Zen.
yeah. I'd love
Yeah.
that so much.
Do you reckon he picks up the phone
pretty
like,
good.
hello? And they're like, Bobcat? And he's like,
It's like,
puts it on. Until he knows it's the production company. He's like, yeah, what do you want?
Yeah, no, that's like a
That's
shtick.
just how
like,
he regularly is. Yeah, you know?
That'd be amazing. I used to think it was, and like my dad told me like when I was very young, like he's got a weird mental thing, so that's just how he talks. And I'm like,
Who's that?
oh wow,
You know Gilbert
That is
Godfrey?
an incredible dad troll. Like
I know, right? So I
can't
grew up
even-
thinking that like Bobcat Goldthwait just talked that way, and then like on early YouTube, I saw like an interview with him, and I'm like, oh, what? Did he get over it? And I just like looked into it more, and I'm like, oh, he just never talked that way. It was just
It was
a
just
I think
a psycho,
Gilbert,
like
Gilbert
the-
Gottfried's the same. I've seen videos
yeah, no,
of him.
there's
Yeah.
Dave Letterman way back in the day leaked audio of a call from him, like for a booking, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing, Dave?" And it's just like, what?
He's just like, what is this?
This is
And you're
just
like,
a very normal voice. Yeah,
blow the
I
doors
like
wide
his
open.
crazy voice though. It's
Oh, it's fun. It's super
Good on him
fun.
for keeping
it's
to
very
it
fun.
for that long, though. And the
great,
secret not getting
great
out.
for like animated ducks and parrots. Just a perfect voice for those two things.
Truly, really, truly, he excels at that. Speaking of animated ducks and parrots, Britt,
Yeah.
can you hit us with a bucket fact today?
was
Do you have one?
the worst segue I've ever fucking heard.
Bucket fact, 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 bucket fact.
So we've never addressed it directly. We've speculated a bit on what Pikes are. Of course, we know that they're independently released 30-ish minute albums by Buckethead and Dan Monty, but we've never talked about why they're called Pikes, yeah?
Okay.
So there was a back and forth about this on some Buckethead forums back in 2020, and there are three general theories, all right?
Okay.
So first off, nobody thinks it has anything to do with the fish that's called a pike, because everyone knows that fish sucks, including Buckethead.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah. The weakest theory, in my opinion, is that it's like the head on a pike type pike.
Okay,
Due
like
to
a weapon.
That's what I pictured.
Yeah, like
Okay,
due
yeah.
to Buckethead's interest in horror and the macabre in general, perhaps each pike is like a different head on, a different pike, and each one is like a different album.
No.
That's a fine theory. It's a fine theory.
No.
However, a better theory is that it's more like a turnpike, which may be unfamiliar to you, Bevo, in Australia there. But
Dude, I don't know what the fuck a turnpike is.
okay, well, a turnpike is it's a type of road. It's a toll road, and it's oftentimes a loop. So, like the New Jersey and
Okay.
Pennsylvania turnpikes are these toll roads that you have to pay to get on, but because they're in a big loop, they're like way more efficient than taking all the other highways. And so it's basically a way for government to make money by having a privatized road for people who can afford it. And some of them, like I think the Pennsylvania Turnpike to take the entire thing costs like $160 or something like that. It's like it's nuts.
Wow.
What? Like, are there different points in which you have to pay, or?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
multiple points. It's and they do like the to-go thing, so they just like charge you based on like a picture of your license plate or whatever.
You get to drive
Okay.
past all the people not going on the pike and just look at them and like,
Kind of, yeah,
just
yeah.
laugh.
Like you get places a lot faster if you use it, and so like a lot of businesses use it and stuff like that because they can fucking afford it, and it
Yeah.
just gets their shit
exclusive
where it needs to be
roads.
way
I didn't
faster.
think that level of capitalism was a thing, but there you go.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Let me tell you a few things about
100%.
America.
Here, where we live in Seattle, I live across a lake from Spencer, and there are two bridges across the lake: the I-90 and the 520. The 520 costs between $2 and like $8 anytime during the day to get across. So, but the 90 is free. So that 90 is always congested, and you have to take the private road that costs you
Bougie.
money to get to the city faster. It's
Yeah.
nuts. It's
Do you guys
nuts.
in the States
Yeah.
have pay toilets?
We don't really, which
well,
is the
not
weird
in
thing.
Seattle. I've heard of them
They
existing in
have
other
them
places.
in places, but they're not like a thing.
We don't
like
either.
they
I
are.
haven't come across one, but in New Zealand I did once, just in a park somewhere.
Oh.
Apparently, they're in a lot of places in Europe, especially like London and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you like go in there and then some guy was like, "Get out of my house!"
The rent here is very high.
It's 25 cents every 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's not nothing.
Yeah, no, that's way high. Anyway, so a better theory is it's a turnpike, which you're probably unfamiliar. The term turnpike comes from the same type of pikes that you put heads on. Is a pike was a long stick of any kind, but specifically in the term turnpike, it was a long stick that blocked passage until a toll was paid. And if you didn't pay it, you were turned away, so a turnpike.
Your head was cut off and stuck on a pike.
That would have been
Crazy. That
pretty cool.
naming scheme is really something.
So turnpikes were similar to today's toll gates. So basically, each album is an exit you can take on the Bucket Highway, which is a pretty reasonable theory, right?
Okay.
However, the best theory behind this is that Pikes take their name from The Pike, which was a boardwalk and amusement park in Long Beach, California, that existed up to 1979 when Buckethead was 9 or 10.
Oh, shit.
Although it could gone by several name changes and was called the Queen's Park by the time he was born, one might presume that since he grew up near there and was often taken to Disneyland by his parents, he might have frequented the park when he was younger, and it was always colloquial known as the Pike up until its destruction in 1979.
Okay.
I think this information might have almost been confirmed by the cover of Pike 280 in Dreamland, which shows a very blurry picture of Buckethead walking along Long Beach with his guitar with the Santa Monica Mountains in the west, making him approximately where the Pike used to stand.
Whoa.
I want to give a huge shout out to Headgetter and bot of the cast Jason Evans for providing me with the Wikipedia article that made me go down this rabbit hole.
Bucket hole.
It's a bucket hole, yeah, for sure.
Absolute bucket hole. Yeah, and he provided me with like a lot of like the underlying research about the forums because he's been a long time Buckethead. Bucket bot. It blew my mind, and I'm still kind of reeling from this. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
This is a
you were
bucket
talking to me
revelation
about
to
it
me.
yesterday. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm too excited about all this bucket information.
Yeah. I went a little bit longer than my usual time on it, but I was pretty excited about that.
Bucket facts.
We listened to 3 more Pikes this week.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Pikes 139, 140, and 141.
You got an extra one out of me too
Observation.
because of the reschedule, so I've heard 4.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to do that.
That's fine.
Oh, I really...
The context
It was my
helped.
brother's birthday, and so I apologize for that.
All good.
So, Pike 139, Observation, released on May 26th, 2015, just 4 days after the previous Pike, Giant Claw.
Man, Giant Claw was a ripper.
Giant Claw was good.
Yeah,
This
Giant Claw
one
was good. This
this
one
one
was
was
pretty good.
all right.
This was probably my favorite one this week.
Really? Interesting.
For sure. Yeah,
There's some
definitely.
good variety in these ones that we.
Yeah. We actually got Bevo's. Chibs when he came on, a co-host of your show, 1001 Songs That Make You Want to Die. We got the worst 3 ever.
I did listen to
I
did listen to his episode.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw in a little fact for you guys because you know when you listen to someone
What's
else's podcast and you want to join in, but obviously,
Oh yeah, of course.
the
As you
media-
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, how do they not know this information
Yeah,
that
I wanted to
I know
tell
in
you-
my brain?
Clearly, you guys aren't big Red Hot Chili Pepper fans, but you did start talking about them for a little bit. I wanted to mention that the guy that you mentioned who was in the Chili Peppers just before Dave Navarro joined, dude's name was Eric Marshall. When the Red Hot Chili Peppers appeared on The Simpsons, he was one of the band members.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
Amazing.
He also used to play for Tone Loc, which we talked about on like our second episode.
Yeah, imagine just
That's
waltzing into the
amazing.
Chili Peppers, being immortalized on that episode of The Simpsons, and then
That's amazing.
Bucket facts.
Pike 139 observation. It was pretty good. It was kind of like a lot of like alt rock and arena rock on this one.
Yeah, kind of diverse. Does
Yeah.
some like post rocky stuff. I like that the songs are relatively short and like he gets to a lot of different ideas. Except for the last song. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the last song is 15 minutes long. The other
Just
ones are
half
all
of
about
it.
5 minutes
it's
each.
a
I
lot to
know.
ask your attention for something instrumental. But the thing I appreciated
It is.
was he shifts gears so often that if you're paying attention, you don't have long for your mind to start drifting and thinking about something else.
Yeah.
The groove keeps changing, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll focus on this for a second.
Yeah. And this one had a good bit of variety. I did get kind of bored on the last song, and so the album is split up into 4 tracks called Observate Ion. So observation altogether. Like he does. Sometimes he'll just split up the title into different tracks like that, which is fine.
That's an easy way of coming up with song titles, I gotta say.
It is. It really is. But
Yeah.
I'm just like, come on. I like when he has weird, inventive names to stuff, because sometimes he does. But on these 3 albums, he didn't at all.
True that.
I kind of felt like that last song, the 4th one, felt a little bit like he was trying to do his version of Stairway to Heaven. It was like 3 chords.
Yeah, he does a lot of that. Yeah, he does a lot of like the 3 descending chords and a very long shredding solo over it. That's like also very soaring.
Yeah.
He does a lot of soaring
Yeah,
solos. He's
very
real big into
soaring.
soaring stuff.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I'm down with it. 15 minutes of it.
15 minutes and 140 albums of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I gotta say, I mean, a bit over 170. So I should probably mention that I have started editing Buckethead's discography Wikipedia page because a
Oh
lot
my
of information
God.
on there was outdated, and
Yeah.
so they had like the previous runtime of his discography that was last updated like sometime mid last year, and I had to go ahead and like recalculate the entire time. Which actually wasn't too bad because I just like copy pasted everything into a Excel file and then kind of just let that do the math, which was nice. But I am now editing Buckethead's Wikipedia. What am I doing with my life?
Yeah, what are you doing with your life? What is happening?
Can this be an intervention, guys?
Have you guys,
I think
have
it
you guys
already
ever had
is.
any
I mean,
interaction with the man himself?
No.
we probably never will.
Is that the
We'd
goal?
like to.
Is that like the...
I mean, that would be amazing.
It would be amazing,
if he
but
would
like
come on
he's
the
a very
show, but-
private, secretive guy. That's not the
Yeah.
goal of the show. Like honestly, I almost at this point don't really want to interview anyone in Buckethead's world. I more enjoy like exposing people to Buckethead. I've gone on record. I am into public exposure, and this is public exposure of
There's a few public records that can confirm that.
Well, I can say for
lists
sure.
I gotta sign up for every week.
This is probably the first time I've listened to Buckethead since about maybe 2015 or so. Maybe, actually probably a lot earlier.
So that was where I was at when we started this. Yeah, it had been like last time I listened to Buckethead was I listened to the first Pike. I remember when the first Pike came out, or I think it was the first 2, and I downloaded both of them and I listened to the first one. I didn't listen to the second one, and I was like, oh, that was cool, and then didn't think about Buckethead for 10 years.
I think the last time I thought, he crossed my world. I used to buy guitar magazines a lot. I still kind of do, but back then I was buying a lot.
Yeah,
And they would
it's a
have-
hard habit to break.
Yeah, they had video lessons sometimes, and Buckethead was actually on one of them, showing his
Oh,
like
nice.
two-handed
Sick.
tapping, like forefinger
yeah.
on each hand tapping thing.
Nubbing is what he calls it.
Yeah, and he's sort of like he doesn't really talk. He just kind of goes. And then shows it off.
I love that. I love that. It's such a Chad ass move.
It really is, like, because you could just be like, or and
Oh, that'd be so cool if he only communicated in home improvement grunts.
dude, yeah.
Does
Let's
he
start
talk,
a band
though?
where we all
That's-
wear like Tim Allen masks.
No. Well, he will talk to fans a little bit here and there sometimes, but not really.
Interesting.
He like usually gives brief answers if he does talk at all, but mostly he doesn't talk. Or if he does, he speaks through Herbie, his hand puppet.
Ah,
Yeah.
I think he was on the on the magazine as well, possibly.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
I'll see if I
awesome.
can track it
Yeah.
down. It's in the house somewhere, surely.
So at the end of each Pike, we assign it to a place in the park that is Buckethead Land. I don't know if you noticed, but on the cover of each of these albums it says Buckethead Land, which is a fictional park, much like Disneyland, in which the Pikes all live. So I think this plays at the lobby to the admin offices at Buckethead Land.
Yeah, it's definitely
Were
not
you
an
at, Spencer?
attraction.
Yeah, it's not necessarily attraction music.
I'm thinking a gift shop or a food.
Yeah.
What about like aquarium?
Ooh,
Yeah.
a bucket aquarium. Ooh,
Yeah.
where everything is in like giant glass buckets.
Or all the fish have buckets
No.
on their head.
Oh, that'd be cool too.
be cooler, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know. Either that or like some kind of outdoor area, like a smoking area.
Yeah, like okay, yeah,
like
a little-
a
smoke-
spot that's like
ooh. How
yeah,
about
yeah.
a smoking gazebo.
Yeah, so it just traps the smoke, and then you're like, ugh. Like,
Yeah.
so many smoking areas are like that for some reason. I'm like, why? Why would you put like a roof to this that just captures all the smoke? Like, what are we doing? Like,
Need maximum
most of
smoke
the time-
exposure.
Like, yeah, most of the time if you go to a smoking shelter, it's to like get out of weather or something. So like, if it's nice out, you just walk around with a smoke.
yeah.
Anyway, Pike 140, Hats and Glasses, released on May 30th, 2015, just 4 days after Observation. I want to note
banking
on
it.
this cover,
Yeah.
2015, he makes over 100 albums. It's
Wow.
like 119 or something. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
2015
fucking
is
immense
crazy.
amount.
There's although I assume most of them are like noise and stuff like that, there's this period in October where he releases an album a day for the entire month.
It's fucked.
Yeah, we're gonna get. Oh man, that's we should try to power through those episodes. So I want to note that the cover of this album is a Buckethead's childhood home, and there are two figures, one in the window and one in the bush, and they're just kind of staring back. And who knows who those figures are? I saw some people thinking maybe it's like Herbie or Albert. I choose to think this is after the death of both of Buckethead's parents. I choose to think that maybe they're the spirits of his parents.
Jesus, that's heavy. Yeah, could be.
Yeah. Anyway,
Damn,
it's two
okay.
tracks, Hats and Glasses.
Uh-huh.
And the title is Hats and Glasses, so it is.
Oh yeah,
I guess that makes sense.
it does.
I liked the first song a lot.
Mhm.
I didn't like the second song that much. It was fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, if the whole album was like the first song, I would have really liked this Pike. But other than that, it's a solid 7.
I caught
Yeah.
a lot of Van Halen licks in there.
Yes,
Felt like
Yeah.
the second track was all Van Halen stuff. It's so arena rock.
Yeah.
And
He
like
does some pretty
solos.
cool like tapping stuff in
He
that
does.
song.
Yeah, and
though,
it's like
which is
clearly, it's
pretty
like
fun.
I think it's the lick from the tapping lick from Ice Cream Man off the first Van Halen album. It's like a direct.
Oh.
Yes, there was one there. At least,
Lovely.
yeah.
Nice.
Just steal from the best, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, but Hats was a sick ass song. It
What
starts
about,
out
like-
with a sick heavy riff. And the drums sounded great on this song.
Very AC/DC drums,
was a-
wasn't it? It was powerful.
Yeah,
to the floor,
like
kinda.
tons of room noise. Yeah, tons of sloppy
Yeah.
hi
Drums did
hat
sound
sounds.
good. Yeah.
Really like the song. Super consistent song, even though it's like 15 minutes long. I dug the shit out of it.
Yeah, same. I liked that one a lot too.
Good music for mowing the lawn too, which is what I did this morning.
Oh yeah. I
Oh,
imagine
do you
this is
have noise
great lawn
canceling
mowing music.
headphones?
Sort of, yeah. It was good enough. I
Nice.
just crank it.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, life finds a way.
That's right.
And it's not like you have to understand the lyrics or anything.
It's like I really liked the music,
Yeah.
but there was this weird the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a
hard to place.
this
Yeah.
weird production. It's like got this like low hum that I just don't really jive
and the
with.
smell
I
of
don't-
fresh cut grass.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah, imagine like, so you said one thing you said earlier was like stealing from the best, which is like what you should be doing, right? If you're trying to make good music or good art or whatever, you get inspired by people that are good. But like, I think there's also something really beautiful about being inspired by things that are bad.
Oh yeah, like that's the thing is like to make the best of something, you have to know about the worst of something, because you don't understand how to improve something until you know everything that can be wrong with it.
Yeah.
Deep.
Yeah,
That's heavy, dude.
that's
You,
everything.
you're just
in
throwing
life.
around heavy bombs all night.
Oh, dude,
It's like a game of Bomberman in here.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I do.
So this is obviously music for barbecue.
Barbecue. Okay, so you think it's food music? So I actually think this goes to an attraction. I think
Okay.
it's a roller coaster where the rails are like done up to look like an old 4-track tape, and you're like riding the music,
Oh,
a
that'd be
rock
tight.
and roller coaster. Hell yeah!
I'm
rock
feeling
and roller
like.
coaster.
Do you guys call? I think you call them dodgem cars. We call them bumper cars here.
No, we call them bumper cars.
Who calls them
Dodgem cars?
Maybe we call them dodgem cars. I don't know.
I've never heard of Dodgem cars in my life.
No, that's
Ironically, because
because
the idea is to slam into each other as hard as possible.
Yeah,
sure.
like,
you don't want to be doing
dodge
any
shit.
dodging. Yeah, no,
no.
this is Fast and the Furious. This is you're. Have you ever been into the variation where you're in like boats, like they're like big round
Oh, yeah,
boats,
dodging
and you're
boats.
like, yeah, that's what we call them here.
Yeah, bumper cars,
Bumper boats.
Dodgem boats.
Yeah, that must have been the confusion for sure.
I like to imagine that you're on the bumper boats and someone falls into the water and they just keep going, bumping over the top of them.
So that was always my fear. Like, there's a lot of those bumper boats up in Alaska for whatever reason, and like maybe they're cheap. I don't know.
I think there was just like 2 in town, and they were just ubiquitous in every fucking like big parking lot that was never used. So like a Kmart or a Sears, like they were just always set up. It was like the pony ride in Alaska.
Yeah.
Like the pony ride was out there every weekend at the Sears Mall, and I don't know if it was the same one or
I
if
think
there
it was
like,
the same one. But yeah, they were always out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just hate to see it.
Yeah, I hate that pony ride. It's just ponies walking around like tethered to like these metal rods, and they're like forced to march in a circle with like bratty children on their backs.
It's terrible. Everybody, no, not good. You hate to see it.
Really do. Yeah. So Pike 141, last call for EP Ripley, released on May 30th, the same day as Hats and Glasses.
All right.
Wow, 2
so
a day.
I saw your little knowledge bomb that you dropped on YouTube.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So do you want to drop that, or should I? Since
I think
it's
you should.
my research.
Yeah, you should. Obviously.
So the EP Ripley, someone on YouTube suggested that it was like had something to do with Alien, which I first thought because Ripley, the main character from the Alien series, makes sense.
No, I don't know. Tell me more.
Shut up. So the EP Ripley is a steam locomotive that used to run on the Disneyland Railroad. It's named after Edward Payson Ripley, a railroad pioneer who helped sponsor the Disneyland Railroad from 1955 to 1974. Since 2016, it's been out of commission due to electrical issues, as well as the railroad's new track alignment. It is unknown if it will return to service. So it's kind of interesting here because it went out of service the year after he released Last Call for EP Ripley, which, I don't know if he had inside knowledge or what that was all about, but yeah. That's super interesting to me.
I like to imagine he's on the train.
Damn.
Someone just leans back to him and goes, "This thing's going down next year, just FYI." And he's like,
Yeah, it's like,
I better take note. Let me release this
bucket.
album about it.
I might
Get
use
the
that as a
word out.
title. Might use that as a title for one of the 5 albums I put out on this particular day.
yeah. I mean, he's got to just like actually just like carry around a field recorder just for like titles for stuff, right? Because he outputs so much. Like at some point, like he's creatively bereft, right?
You gotta be, right?
How can you come up with words at that point?
That's what's
You just
impressive
gotta,
about
like-
this whole thing.
You're just so trained to do it that you just keep doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really something.
Speaking
For sure.
of trains, last call to EP Ripley is a steam locomotive that used to run on the Disneyland. So this album rocks. I like this one by far the most of
It's a
these
weird
three
one.
this week. It was super weird. It's
A lot of bass. A lot of bass.
a lot of bass, a lot of electronic drum samples, a ton of different experimenting like back and forth with bass and guitar, and it's super funky all the way
Yeah.
through. It's a cool album.
It felt to me like an
like it a
exercise in
lot.
different styles of funk. You know, each track was a
Yeah. It was just like electronic funk metal, like it was all sorts of different funk, and yeah, it was a funk odyssey. I would
When you're
definitely
deep in the
say.
funk, stuff comes out of you, you know?
Yeah, I can definitely say he did not fake the funk at any point on this record.
authentic.
Yeah,
Very authentic.
Thank you for being our funk inspector. Certified funk inspector.
Hell yeah, the FBI, the funk bureaucracy.
Investigator.
I don't know.
Wow.
I did really like-
It's the Funk Bureau of Investigation? Funk Bureau of...
No, I prefer I don't know.
There's a few
That's what
times
I
in this
stand for.
particular one where he chucks on some kind of effect. Like there's one bit where there's like volume swells and there's like a phaser in a little bit. I really like how he
he uses
it's never a full track's worth of one effect. He just chucks it on for a little bit, and that's a really good way of like keeping you interested without getting old with the sound.
Yeah,
you know.
he relies on a lot of the same effects, but he never uses like just one effect during a song. Like he's very fond of. I noticed starting songs with like the whammy pedal combined with like an envelope. So it just sounds like a really distorted, low, chunky bass line kind of. Yeah. Yes, a Gilbert Godfrey, if you will.
Yeah.
Like
He
a
make
soup
a
of
good-
bass Gilbert Godfrey.
You know, of living people, I know we were talking about Rene Auberjonois last night, the guy who plays Odo on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He would make it an incredible Waluigi in a live film, though he's dead. But I think that Gilbert Gottfried would honestly make a pretty incredible, like, old Waluigi.
I want to see Waluigi,
You know?
the movie, the live action movie. That would be.
Yes.
It would be life-changing.
Well, no, it would be rated X. It wouldn't be allowed to be released. It would be so perverted. Like, it can't happen. That's why there's no Waluigi game. Everybody knows.
Why
It would be
Waluigi's
too
not in
gross.
Smash.
Everyone knows that Waluigi has a blonde mustache, and it's only black because of it's full of filth. Just the things you don't even want. It's just like black tar heroin and like ass sweat.
Secrets.
Yeah. Secrets. Dark secrets.
Yeah, I really liked this album.
Yeah, this one was all right. It was a nice change of pace. The funk aspects were fun. Like there were some pretty cool bass lines here and there. I got tired of it by the end, but I did respect it for what it was, and it was pretty cool.
I think
That's kind of how I feel about you, Spencer.
Fair.
I think in like summary of all these three, it's been a long time since I've committed to listening to a long stretch of instrumental music, and I
Yeah.
think the internet has ruined my attention span greatly. You know, because even though
Yeah.
I was enjoying it, a lot of the time I was like, even though this is cool, how much longer have I got to listen to this?
No, I
You
feel
know?
that.
I feel like
feel
it's
that.
music where you have to be doing something else
Yes.
while you do it.
Yeah,
Like, so, like
100%,
for example, I
100%.
will go for a walk
Yeah.
while I listen to it, or I
Yeah,
will like go. Today I went to the grocery store,
And
while I
especially
listened to one of
because
them.
I had to listen on YouTube where I can't close the app.
Oh, I could have helped you with that. I'm so sorry. I have like a little thing on my phone.
No,
that
no,
makes it
no,
so you
no,
don't have to
no,
do
Spencer, don't help people. Let them discover how to find Buckethead for themselves. It's part of the
If
process.
I had been distracted on doing something else, I wouldn't have paid attention. So it's double edged
There you
sword.
go.
that.
Boom.
Fair. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. You know, it's a double-edged bucket sword.
Bucket sword. I don't know what that means.
Instead of a hilt,
It could be a
instead of a
dick.
hilt, it's just a bucket.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I like that. It's
Hell
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally
Hand
dig
guard.
It's going to be our only merch we ever release. It's going to be a literal sword.
No, just a sword.
Dude.
Not a sword,
Yeah.
just the holder.
Just the
Yeah.
Gettin Head, the Gettin Head the sword.
This is Gettin Arrested, a sword podcast.
Dude, you know that we're like if we actually sold a sword, the only one we sold would be like used for terrorism. Right?
Yeah, no, totally.
What other use
like,
is there?
We'd see like pictures from North Korea or something, and there's like a bunch of dudes with the bucket sword. They're like, oh shit!
That'd rock. Actually, I'm totally cool with that.
Be really something.
Kim Jong, whatever one we're on at this point, if you're listening, we'll make some swords for you, dog.
Kim Jong
Hit us
Dos, I think, at this point.
Dos Kim Jong Tres.
I think it's referring to the DOS operating system.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. So this one is, I don't know. What is this a soundtrack to, Britt?
It's to a fucking railroad. Haven't you been listening?
A discontinued
It's
one,
to
too.
a locomotive. Yeah, it's. Did you not listen to my whole thing?
I just wanted to focus.
When you're
absolutely.
sitting on a train doing nothing, you want to be funking out, grooving out at the same time.
Exactly.
That-
it's a
that
funky
is a
train.
vibe. Yeah.
It's a soul train, if you will.
One of the wheels is a bit
Oh.
wonky, so you're just constantly back and forward.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, ride the train and
Ride
ride it.
Yeah. It's a great song.
It's a
banger.
Hell yeah.
Love to see it. Kylie Minogue. Total banger.
Local.
Yep.
Kylie.
Oh yeah. Kylie is an Australian. That's
She's
yeah.
she's an expat at this point, but her sister,
she.
Danny.
Yeah, doesn't she live in England, London now or
Yeah.
something? Jolly old London town, sorry.
Merry old England.
Yeah.
Why would you move to England from
Because
Australia?
she was huge in on Neighbours, which is like our soap opera, kind of long-standing soap opera, and I think that's bigger in the UK than it is over here, even.
Oh.
So I imagine that
Okay.
would be why.
Huh. Well
Wow.
then.
You want
Okay.
to
Is
go
it
where the
shot
fans
in
are at?
England or? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know enough about
All right.
Kylie Minogue to be the authority, though, so
That's a bummer. You
We
should
just-
do more Kylie Minogue
we were just
research.
born in the same country. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
You don't know about every celebrity from your country. I know about most celebrities
Both of
from
them.
my country. Yeah. There's Hugh Jackman, Kylie Minogue. right?
Huge Ackman.
Paul Hogan. We can't forget
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Paul Hogan.
I've been to his.
And the guys from Jet.
I've been to his.
Yeah, the guys from Jet. I didn't know that they were from Australia until yesterday, or whenever we did that podcast.
Every day
Which was not
yesterday.
yesterday. Why did I say yesterday?
Definitely not yesterday.
That was like weeks ago.
Yeah.
We're ready for the next segment of the show.
Are
I think.
not.
Well, I'm ready. Would you all like to go on a journey with me
Where to?
to the bucket void?
Statements from the bucket
Oh
my
my
God.
god! Oh
my
my god! We're here. Okay, so this is the part of the show where we like to, shine a light into the darker parts of the internet and
The bucket holes, if you will.
the holes, the voids, the empty spaces, and the darkened rooms. Familiar faces, worn out places. All the stuff. Anyways, in this case, that literally means talking about YouTube comments. And to kick things off, Lazarus 3333 says 6 years ago, "This is the main primary nutrient for those of us with the so-called ADHD. Buckethead, you're fucking amazing. Thank you for feeding my brain with the much-needed frequency and arrangement. I will never eat chicken again."
Interesting.
He's
Okay.
taking a lot from the music. You know how you
really
said
is.
earlier, Bevo, it's hard to take notes or pay attention to instrumental music. Well, clearly you were wrong.
Yeah, so
Because
I really-
this guy, he's tapped in.
the only thing that's
He's on
changed
the
is I
wavelength.
don't feel like eating chicken.
Yeah, someone needs to work on their having ADHD over there. Right?
Actually,
I'm taking some time off to work on my ADHD.
I think listening to these Pikes sort of made me question whether I did or not, because like cause my attention span was like so short. I was like, is this me? Do I have ADHD? But
It's one of those things like, if you have ADHD and you take a bunch of speed, it like makes you, kind of normal. But if you don't have ADHD and you take a bunch of speed, it basically makes you have ADHD.
so that's the way to know.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll note that.
Go to smoke crack. Figure it out.
Yeah. You just got to smoke a little crack and figure it out.
You hit the pipe, hit the fucking pipe and discover yourself.
Oh,
dog.
like we were talking about last week, get a bong for your crack, because that's a thing. So
Yeah.
I'm going to bring this up again. At a fucking head shop here in Seattle, pipe store, weed smoke shop, whatever, they have bongs for meth. They have like little meth pipes with bongs attached to them, and you can have an icy cold meth hit.
One sec. Let me see if I still have my meth bong. 1 sec.
I don't think you can show a meth bong on Twitch. I think we'll get banned. I think just saying the word meth bong is going to get us kicked off. But that's definitely a thing.
No, I don't. I think I might have just tossed it because I'm like, wait, this is a meth bong.
My meth bomb days are over.
I can't be known for having a meth. Like, no one can see
I gave this up years ago.
No, I didn't. But like, I can't make it apparent to folks. Like, I gotta just go buy the single-use roses at the fucking truck stop.
There you go. Yeah. Anyways, YouTube user Howie Feltersnatch. An incredible name.
That's the best name. Howie Feltersnatch. I love you.
Says 6 years ago, Buckethead is God! This joint is fantastic.
Hell yeah. I feel that.
Yeah, a joint will make you feel that way when you're...
Get high and listen to Head, man.
Yeah. Head from Korn, Buckethead, all Radiohead.
All of them, Talking Heads, all of the major head groups.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta do that.
Portishead.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great head. One of my favorite heads. It's got to be one of my favorite heads. To take things into the esoteric, YouTube user BucketBot says with 2 hashtags here, and those hashtags are Buckethead and observation. They have an extremely long post here, but it's separated into paragraphs, and the paragraphs are not connected really in any way, so I'm only going to read a couple of them. They're just like a series of different comments about the album or whatever. This is a very long post.
So it's basically our podcast.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Let me read you some of this. You can judge for yourself here. So Bucketbot says, and this was 1 year ago, edited. When Pinocchio observed Bucketbots in Buckethead Land, he never asked to be a human again, just insisted on Geppetto to enroll in some much-needed courses in Buckethead Land due to his outdated knowledge and lack thereof as time passed him by. As his nose retracted, Pinocchio shouted, Geppetto, you need some male function for me to malfunction. I'm not sure if that's a joke. I left it. I left a pause there for laughter if it was a joke, but I don't know.
Some male function, M-A-L-E.
Geppetto, you need some male function for me to malfunction.
Does that makes me think he wants Geppetto to jerk off in front of him, like Louis C.K.?
Like, that's kind of what I'm thinking, too. Like, definitely like a regular Louis C.K.
Like
not a reverse. No.
A reverse Louis C.K.
There we go.
Yeah. You double Louis C.K'd me one more time.
Yeah, so pretty weird. They go on to say some other weird stuff.
No, I want to hear more of this weird stuff.
Okay,
I'm fascinated by
we can go into
but,
so right after.
I don't want to hear normal comments. I want to hear this guy have like a mental breakdown on YouTube comments.
Yeah,
right?
I'm pretty sure he's like peaking on like fucking peyote or something. Like he's saying some shit. He's probably in Sedona, Arizona.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Anyways,
please. Do it.
He goes on to say right after the malfunction to malfunction line, he says, "Bucket bots are crazy, hungry, and we are many. KFC and dreary sister, beware. The foretold prophecy of your inevitable doom is drawing near, as it is the most precise outcome with each outspread affirmation. Buckethead! Buckethead is too good for our own good. It is weird not to be weird. Best to be wired. Bucket bots concur."
Do you reckon it's Buckethead himself making these comments?
I don't know who this is, but whoever it is, I need their dealer's number.
Just imagine they've typed this YouTube comment.
They're feeling it, yeah.
Wow.
Type the YouTube comment, press enter, and just lean back like, yep, that'll show them.
Yeah, like really laid it out to them. Like they're gonna know.
Now they know.
Now they
there
know.
You go.
They know.
They always did.
Oh yeah. Well, if they don't know, now they know.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a fun one. Finding friends in YouTube comments about Buckethead. Michael Smith here says, "This is another gem in his catalog. It grows in the style of licks as he goes through the set." And then Beeltram169 responds, "Is this the Mike Smith from Long Island, New York?"
Little bucket connection there.
I like that he's like, just like it's such a generic name, you know? It's like being like, oh yeah, this guy, he's
Mike
on
Smith.
the Buckethead comments. It's got to be Mike Smith, obviously.
No, that one, Mike Smith. There's only like 12,000 of them in New York
Alone, yeah.
like on Long Island itself. So
Yeah, for sure. But I wish him luck. I hope that was Mike Smith from Long Island, New York, and they
Still
connected.
together
They
to this
reconnected.
day,
Yeah.
They met up in New York, sucked each other's dicks.
Yeah,
got married.
sucking and fucking, and now they're listening to Buckethead together
in flooded New York.
Yeah. Woof.
Yeah.
Andrew Edwards, 2 years ago, says, "Abso-fucking-loosely, the Buckethead has left the planet Earth and is doing jam sessions with Jimmy, SRV, Johnny W., Randy, Roy Buchanan, etc. etc. You get it. Peace, Johnny Two Braids."
You saying he's dead?
I think he is, which is funny.
That's a weird accusation to make for someone who's actively releasing albums.
Yeah, it is. It's a weird assumption to get to.
Because everyone he named wasn't just like a guitar god; they were dead. Also.
They're all dead guitar people. Yes, very strange. Very strange. I think Buckethead's still alive.
I mean, he's still releasing music on his website, so I don't see how he couldn't be alive. And he's released, his most recent Pike 2 months ago. So.
He also wears a mask, so he could be anyone and everyone.
That's true.
Yeah,
although
that
he is
true.
6'6" or 6'7", which makes it kind of harder to fake.
Yeah. Being tall is pretty badass. And speaking of badass, I like it when you get mad at my my fucking segues. It's great. I try to make them like Police Academy levels of transition. Just for you. That's what I'm shooting for. I'm shooting for a Zed McGlunk vibe.
Yeah, you're hitting more of a Police Academy 6 or 7 type vibe, really.
Well, I haven't seen them, so we're gonna get there, and I'm gonna experience it.
You're gonna be very offended at that comment, then.
Imagine if they started putting out Police Academy movies, but how they've got the Apollo Creed movies now for Rocky.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are great.
They should start putting out.
We go back to the well.
They should start putting out the criminal perspective. So the cops are cops are the bad guys.
Ooh, or they could do like a Zed prequel where like a Zed started out in the gang in number 2.
Yeah, he was the villain in number 2.
A Zed standalone prequel would rock.
Yeah. I love how much how much time we're spending talking about Police Academy. Like no one is going to understand this.
I think I've seen the first one, and that's it.
That's
Oh
amazing.
God, you gotta at least watch 3 or 4 at some point.
3
because
is
Zed
really
fucks.
good. Like, you don't need to watch. They're very standalone. You don't need to necessarily watch all of them. But
You're
watch
sitting
3.
there watching the 4th one, going, "I have no idea what the fuck is going on with the policeman."
It's like Game of Thrones. You're like, oh man, oh shit. There's so many
What are they?
characters.
What are they? Fight crime or something?
What is this?
Why is this guy making noises? What's the backstory there?
This is the weirdest camp film I've ever seen.
YouTube user Forrest McLanahan says, "My supergroup, Kurt Cobain, lead vocals. Maybe Maynard James Keenan. Guitar, Big B. Bass, Les Claypool. Drums, Joey Jordison. Fuck yeah, brother."
Kurt Cobain fronting any of those musicians is just hilarious, isn't it?
I know,
Right.
the best. The best.
And
Imagine
also-
a band. Imagine this band. So let's talk about this band for a second. Kurt Cobain, lead vocals. Buckethead, guitar. Les Claypool, bass. And
Les
Joey
Claypool-
Jordison, drums.
Is Les Claypool allowed to sing in this band?
No.
Because
No.
I so want to hear Kurt Cobain and Les Claypool singing together.
Imagine that.
No, I
Yeah,
don't want to.
It's so good. I that's a really inspired supergroup. I'm here for it. I wish it could
Yeah.
happen. I would love it.
I love comment section supergroups, like people's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
favorite musicians together, and I'm like, God, your fucking iPod is dog shit. Like, I just
So when people say, I listen to a wide variety of music, including Tool, Primus, Slipknot, Nirvana.
yeah, yep, I listen to the radio songs.
That's the wide variety of music that they listen to,
That's
rock.
true. Yeah. Speaking of the varieties of music people listen to, Dr. Jekyll Van Hyde says 4 years ago, some parts sound very similar to the type of electronical music people in my surroundings listen to. Electronical music.
I love when people call it
In my
electronical
surroundings.
music. So when people say electrical guitar, instead of
Oh,
electric
that's so good. Yeah, I don't hear that enough. I want to hear that. I bet if I worked at a music store, I would hear that.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I had a call. I work at a music shop. I had a call yesterday. Someone called up and said, I'd like to make a complaint about these people that have moved their caravan across the road into the park where I live, and they're selling pot plants out of their caravan. And I said, lady, this is a
Tight.
guitar shop. And she went, oh, I'm sorry. And hung up.
I'm so glad you were in Australia, because if you were in America and that same thing had happened, they'd be like, I don't care. Do something about it, you piece of shit. Like,
or it could have been no, that's right.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
The thing I'm surprised though is that you weren't like, what's the address? I'll go stop them.
Do you guys, know what a succulent is?
Yeah, I love succulents.
That's what they were
Is that
selling.
what they were selling?
Yeah. that's what-
Oh, that sucks. They were selling little
that's
cactuses.
incredible.
yeah.
That's so good.
I should have
They're
found
just
out more.
selling little cactus boys.
I love that.
Just stay on the line, lady. I'm just going to write down some detail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We better. Yeah. Tell me where this is so we can definitely stay away from that area. Yeah.
Here
Totally.
You guys are,
Yeah.
you guys are selling succulents.
You got a succulent guy? Oh, yeah. I got a succulent guy. You do too. To make things meta for a moment. 6 years ago, YouTube user Bal Tiba says, anybody know of any videos or podcasts talking about how insane it is that Buckethead did this many albums in so many years? No, I've never heard of anything like
I
that.
wonder if they should
Sorry.
make one.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Yeah, can't
They-
help with that.
Nah, I really don't think they should.
Yeah, no, that's a
hindsight.
thing that shouldn't exist.
Damn.
For sure.
Hindsight is 2020, which is when
But
we
looking
started this
back, it's still a
podcast.
bit fuzzy.
Shut up.
We'll do a little Jordan Vine zinger. He did a few comments this week, but we're just going to do one, so you can zing me after. Jordan Vine says, 4 years ago, speechless! Can his music get any better?
Master of the shifty, a bucket bot divine. Tormentor extraordinary, it's time for Jordan Vine.
We love Jordan Vine. He's a very...
Bucket facts.
Wow.
Well, you love him. That's a fact.
Yeah, that is true. We do love him. That is a fact. And now it's time for, to wrap things up. We're going to take a trip to my second favorite part of the show now, because my favorite part of the show is coming up. But it's my second favorite part of the show. I think Britt knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, boy. I think I do.
Statements from the Britain Void.
It's good that you guys got James Hetfield for that bit. That was pretty... That's impressive.
Nice. That's pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got a couple that we're going to do today. These are statements from the Britain Void. These are excerpts from conversations that Britt and I have had over the years. I'm going to start with this. On April 24th, 2019, 5:48 p.m., Britt texted me, "It's a Beatles album with fucking sick bass lines. Keys, guitar, and vocals."
Which one could that be?
I responded, "Hold up. Let us acknowledge the fact that you, Britt Straw, just referred to Les Claypool's playing as sick."
So I was referring to the Lennon Claypool Delirium, which is a collaboration between him and Sean Lennon, I think. Yeah. It's a great project, honestly. I wasn't so about their first album, but their most recent albums, I thought pretty fantastic, to be honest. Yeah, I will acknowledge I did compliment Les Claypool. It's okay. I have more. I think
you've come around on it in recent years. You used to be
I
a
think
much
I
bigger
have
hater.
some jokes about him like capturing children to make up for that later.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I texted you two photos on January 14th, 2019 at 1:54 p.m. Those two photos were of potential domain names. I sent a text that said, "Which one should I buy for our new custom emails?" And you responded, "This is dumb. Obviously, you have my full support. Fuckingslayer.pizza is the greatest domain ever."
Fucking Slayer.pizza?
I forgot about that.
That is a really good domain name. I'm not gonna lie.
It's really good. If it's still out there, maybe.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yep.
Just catch me at
Slayer.
Kerry King at fuckingslayer.pizza.
I wouldn't question it. I'd be
What
like,
about Carrie's the King?
Carrie is king.
That's it.
What is Carrie King the king of?
Bad guitar solos.
Tribal
Tribal
tattoos.
tattoos. Yeah,
tribal.
he
is like the poster child of tribal tats. Yeah.
I feel like he was one of the first ones in media to be all tribal tatted up, right?
He started the trend.
Yeah. He was one of the progenitors of that aesthetic.
I don't know
Proto-tribal, if you will.
I don't know that much about Slayer, but I have a feeling that Kerry King is very conservative. Would I be correct?
He doesn't really give interviews, but yeah, I would guess that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that facial hair.
He's got that don't take my guns kind of.
Yeah.
about him.
And he's got just the big weird where he
goatee.
just shaves that. Yeah, just very. Yeah, he's got a Ford F550 right here on his face. That's his facial hair, and that tells me he probably votes against my interests.
Probably.
Yeah, he probably complains about tax a lot to people.
Probably wants to have some say in what women's bodies do.
Yeah, and then uses like his tax thing as an excuse to not pay Dave Lombardo.
I don't think Dave Lombardo's in Slayer anymore.
No, he quit
No.
because they didn't pay him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably too conservative.
He went on a tour and like they told him they were gonna like split it 4 ways, and then like after that they're like, oh, we'll just pay you like 100,000, and they just like didn't pay him, which is cool.
Nice.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah,
I believe
Super duper.
it's time for
Statements from the
Time for the bumper music to statements from the Bucket Void.
Hell yeah, it is. Now it's time
Yeah.
for the show where we just like to recommend stuff. Cool stuff that you think is rad. Doesn't matter what it is. Can be literally anything.
Or uncool stuff. We're okay with uncool stuff
yeah,
too.
you could just rant
Like-
about something for a minute too.
Yeah.
That's chill. To kick things off, Britt, what do you got to recommend us?
Man, I've been watching so much wrestling lately.
Yeah, you have. Every time I talk to you, it's wrestling this, wrestling that.
Yeah, well, you know, it's my newest obsession, and I have to be obsessed with, like, one thing every, like, 2 to 4 months, so I am in wrestling mode right now. It's
Okay.
awesome.
All right.
The AEW is doing great stuff. They've got a pay-per-view that will have aired, like, a week after this episode does, so... or a week before this episode does, so it doesn't matter. But I would highly recommend the AEW. Everything they're doing right now is fantastic. They're just a great wrestling promotion. Check them out.
Okay.
What do you got to recommend? Bevo?
So my podcast is called 1001 Songs That Make You Want to Die, and it's based off, you might have seen the book. It's called 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. You've heard about that book before? That's where it's kind of a take on that. And in 2011, I started listening to every single album from that book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And-
no.
It comes and goes. Like sometimes I listen to a lot of albums. Sometimes I like go like a full year without anything off the list. Because we're in lockdown at the moment down here in sort of Sydney, I've got not much else to do but to listen to albums. So I'm up to 806 now. I'm almost done. 10 years later.
Nice.
So
Nice.
Wow.
I don't recommend taking on a project like this because it fucking sucks and there's a lot of really bad albums that you have to get through. But
Yeah, I bet.
now that I'm up
Yeah,
to
wouldn't it really suck to do a project where you're just forced to listen to hundreds and hundreds of albums?
Yeah, that
would
sounds
really-
terrible. What kind of dumbass would do that?
yeah, well,
Yeah, and then like you get your friends in on it, so you're like absolutely forced to, and you're held accountable
Yeah.
to listen to like
and clearly it's my whole
music you
life is
don't
centered around it.
necessarily want to listen to every week. Yeah, it's
Anyway,
that would suck.
I've kind of hit
Yeah.
like 95, 96, 97 at the moment, which is now in my kind of living memory. And some of the albums are really fucking good. And
Okay, so you're doing it
chronologically, yeah. And
Okay.
just recently I listened to Sepultura's Roots for the very first time. And I
Nice.
don't understand
Okay,
why
okay.
no one told me to listen to this fucking rad album before.
No, it's like it's a new death metal album. It's like death metal with new metal.
For me, I'm a
great.
big Metallica fan. I really love Pantera too, and it feels like the missing link between those two bands.
Yeah, okay, I
Sure.
can feel that. Yeah,
It's got the
That's
groove, but it's also like got the thrashy kind of thing to it. So yeah,
yeah.
into
No,
Sepultura.
Roots is actually
20 years too late.
yeah. I feel that's about right. They were pretty cool though, and like Roots was like definitely a big thing at its time.
It was a big thing.
and
at the
rightfully
time,
so.
Yeah.
Really, pretty good album.
My personal
Really
favorite Sepultura record is Beneath the Remains.
When did that come out?
90 or 92?
Wasn't in the book, so I'll
Yeah,
never listen to it.
1000.
Yeah. So clearly it's not one of the ones. No.
But I have decided
you don't
once I
need to listen
finish,
to it
I'm going to
before you
take
die.
1001 suggestions of albums I should listen to that aren't in the book. So if you want me to
yeah,
add that
there
one,
you go.
then I will.
Interesting. And we've already used up our 3, so don't come asking us. So,
Hell yeah. Well, that's awesome. I can second that one.
Yeah.
hell yeah. How about you, Spencer? What do you got? What do you have to recommend? I stumbled over that word.
You
Wow.
did. You really
shut
did.
up.
Okay. So, okay. I got a couple things to recommend. I'm going to do some short recommends because, like, I don't have a thing that I would want to talk about a lot, but I have a couple things I want to shout out. First shout out is making toast. Toast fucking rules, and just eating toasted bread is
easy.
It's very easy. It's very good. It's just really nice. Toast is wonderful. I can't recommend toast enough. Make toast if you haven't in a while. It's good. Make it on the stove. I make it on the stove in a pan. It's good that way. I put another pan on top of it and like squish it down.
Vegemite on toast. I recommend it.
Oh, I got to get some of that. I think we can get that here.
You probably hate it. You probably hate it, but it's an institution here.
It's like yeast paste, isn't it?
Yeah, very salty. Yeah. Love it.
It sounds amazing. I want it. You know what? I'm going to have some, and I'll text you about it.
Great.
Because I've been wanting to try it for forever.
You got to start
good.
light.
Well,
don't go too crazy.
Actually, you know what? I should probably make it for you because I am authentically 6'4" and full of muscle, as the character from Land Down Under.
You need to make me a Vegemite sandwich then.
I need to smile and hand you a Vegemite sandwich. I don't need to necessarily make it for you.
Well, then you got to take me in and make me breakfast.
No, that was a strange lady, I'm afraid.
All right.
Who made me nervous.
Your timeline all messed up.
Right.
She took me in,
Yeah, sorry.
different characters.
My
It's
apologies.
okay. It's okay. Go back and listen to the song, though.
We got to
It's a
find
great
a
song.
strange lady, though. Make me breakfast.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Then
fucking
I'm
love that
in.
song.
Then I'm in.
I no joke, I love Colin Hay.
I always feel like Colin Hay is
he's
like the
pretty dope.
Australian Sting.
Oh.
He's so much better. Like, his solo music is great. I stan the album Beautiful World. It's just a lovely album.
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
And of course, his stuff with Men at Work. Like, Men at Work rocks.
Men at Work
Business
rocks.
as Usual, one of the best pop albums of the 80s, straight up.
Yeah.
Fair cool.
And then I did shout out earlier the Police Academy films, but I do want to shout them out again. Police Academy 3 and 4 specifically. 1, 3, and 4, pretty good. Watch them. They're good.
Definitely.
3 in particular, there's a jet ski chase at the end that's awesome.
It's sick.
It's
real
really
sick.
good. And then, lastly, I do want to shout out Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I've been playing that game, and it's fucking rad. They updated it on PS5 to run at 60 FPS. It looks really good as a result, and plays real good. I've been playing that game. It's been pretty fun. I feel like to just zone out and fucking play an endless game. There's so much game in that game. It just never ends. There's so many people to kill. Yeah, just play that game. You can play it for a long time. Just a lot of game. It's kind of distressing, actually.
Yeah.
But, that's what I would recommend.
Super duper.
Is it time?
I'm afraid so.
Bucket joke. Ha 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 ha. Bucket joke. Ha ha ha. Bucket joke. Ha ha ha. Bucket joke.
What has 6 legs, 2 dicks, and 1 giant pussy?
Is it Tool?
The Genesis reunion tour without Peter Gabriel. Here's a history joke. What do you call the end of the industrial age? Trent Reznor's soundtrack work. What's the difference between a 6-string guitar and a 6-piece drum set? Well, Dave Grohl can actually play the drums.
Okay.
What's the here's another guitar joke. What's the difference between a 12-string guitar and a 12-year-old girl?
Oh no.
Well, Jimmy Page didn't use a 12-string guitar after Houses of the Holy.
Oh no. You're gonna get Bucket canceled, dude.
What's speaking of canceled, what's another name for the sex offender registry list in most major American cities? The local punk scene.
That was a good segue.
What's worse than getting 800 pounds? For you, that's approximately 360 kilo. I don't know stone, so I'm not going to get into that. What's worse than getting 360 kilo of raw sewage dumped on you by the Dave Matthews Band tour bus? Tickets to the show is an apology. What's the difference between Australian rockers Jet and Swedish rockers The Hives? I'm literally asking.
I was gonna.
Bands? I have no idea.
Yeah, no, that's too hard.
Why does Les Claypool prefer white wine to red wine? Well, although he enjoys cellaring, he prefers his acquisitions to be not too fully aged. What do you get if you mix Jimi Hendrix with a head injury? I don't know, but they probably sound like Lenny Kravitz.
Oh.
What do Texas and Afghanistan have in common? Political goals for women's rights.
Yep, got him.
Here's a math joke for y'all. How many times can 1 go into 15? I'm not sure. Ask Anthony Kiedis.
I don't know what that joke means. I don't want to know.
He had sex with a 15-year-old girl while he was on tour.
Oh, no.
It's in the book.
Yeah, it's in his book, Scar Tissue.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
What do horse dewormer ivermectin and lithium have in common? Well, now they're both mostly taken by the seriously mentally ill. What does Metallica producer Bob Rock have in common with Cliff Burton?
Oh.
Doesn't work with Metallica anymore.
They've both performed bass just as well for Metallica after 1987.
Whoa.
That's good.
What do you call Michael Jackson after too much anesthesia?
Oh.
Michael Jacks off. What do Mr. Hands and Joe Rogan have in common?
Oh, no.
Both put horse things in them they shouldn't have.
Oh, no.
Yep.
What's, and I'm going to close out on this one, make it a little meta here. What has 4 feet, 1 arm, and an asshole in front? All 3 of our desks right now. That is most of our show. Bevo, do you have anything to plug?
I do, actually.
Besides your podcast?
Well, first of all, if you want to check out 1001 Songs That Make You Want to Die, we analyze the worst songs ever created and decide whether we think they are or not. But also, another project I'm working on at the moment is a band called Good Rockies Revival, in which me and 2 other mates record every Beatles song in the entire collection and do videos and put them out. We're on Facebook and Instagram, and mostly Facebook, so check them out. Yeah. Good Rockies
That's
Revival.
Super awesome. Yeah. And if I could recommend an episode to start on with your podcast, 1001 Songs That Make You Want to Die, I would highly recommend 50 Cent's Into Club. Listen to 3 white Australian guys stumble over the lyrics of a 50 Cent song was something I found truly wonderful.
Yes,
and it was hard to contain my laughter in public. Chibs reading the lyrics especially was just miserably wonderful.
We recently guested on an episode of 1001 Songs That Make You Want to Die, and it was a lovely time. We talked about Are You Gonna Be My Girl by Jet. Australian rockers.
Australian
Jet.
rock royalty, even.
Yeah, truly. Famous men, famous lads.
Yeah.
The modern AC/DC, if you won't.
A lovely episode. Highly recommended. Yeah, their show is fantastic.
Oh, thank you very much. It's been a fun thing to pass the time.
Indeed.
Yeah. But thanks for having me on
yes.
today on the Bucketcast. I actually said no to an episode of our podcast to be on this one today, so
Wow.
thanks. And it was about...
Oh, thank you. We're honored.
The episode was about Paul McCartney.
Oh, wow.
And
God. Was it a Wings song?
Yeah, Bend on the Run, which I missed out on.
Oh,
That's okay.
I hate that so much. I hate it. Honestly, like, I like some Paul McCartney's new stuff is good. Like, his album New from, like, 2018, good album. His stuff with Wings, no. I don't do it. I can't do it.
Don't fuck with Wings.
It's like Paul McCartney's like, maybe I could do, like, my own ELO thing, and it just doesn't do it for me.
He's got some there's good stuff and bad stuff. We'll say that much.
Yeah, I mean, nothing can live up to, like, the heights of a Wonderful Christmas Time, so he's always kind of chasing that high, obviously, musically.
That song sucks. I hate that song. Britt, where can we follow you on the internet?
You can follow me at Dog Vorbis. I also do pretty much all of our social media. I also want to give a big shout out. Go check out our YouTube channel. I've been updating it. Go check out our Patreon if you are so inclined.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
What's the link to the Patreon?
Yeah. The link to the Patreon is on our YouTube. So maybe just go to YouTube.
Do your own
click
research.
That link. Yeah,
Okay.
fucking do Google,
do your own
dummies.
research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Google's your friend, dumbasses.
Google.
I hate I hate our
Google
fans.
5G
Hate them.
poison Buckethead, and you'll get us. That's all you got to do.
Take ivermectin for this podcast. It'll
Ivermectin sloppy dongs will also get you straight to our webpage.
dot pizza.
You can follow me. Yeah,
Ivermectin.pizza.
that's got to be taken by now. It has to be. Either it's taken or it's like $1,700.
I think, by the way, Ivermectin.pizza is the name of the episode.
Jesus Christ. We're going to get blacklisted from SEO. Anyways, you can follow me at New Metal Karate Society on Instagram, or at New Metal Cult on Twitter and Twitch. And if you would like to call us, I'm going to keep pitching this. Hopefully someone will someday call us.
I put it on the episode description of our last episode.
Wonderful. But yeah, if you would like to call us and leave us a voicemail that we could potentially play on our podcast, you can do that at 425-310-2416. So do it maybe, or don't. I don't care.
Indeed. And I think that might do it for today.
Heck
All music
yeah.
for the show is done by Britton and Spencer. All research, writing, editing, and social media by yours truly, Britton. Our artwork is done by Slunkbot and myself. And last but not least, this has been Britton.
And this has been Spencer.
And this has been Bevo.
You've been listening to Gettin Head, a Bucketcast.
Stay greasy, Bucketheads.
Namaste.